Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and we're back today for another episode of Zweihander, Blackhearts, and we're back with the full cast and crew today. So let's get into it, let's not waste any time, let's meet them and remind ourselves of who we are and who we're playing. Let's start over here with Doxy. Doxy, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good, how are you, William?
I am well, thank you for asking. Most
Good.
well. That's cool. Good show.
That was it?
I don't like opening
Thanks for
up
tuning
my
in.
personal
That's our
life.
show.
Don't
That was
ask me
all.
personal
That was it.
questions.
Bye.
I just like that you're
Awesome
calling him
name.
by his Christian name.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know about this. All right, who are you going to be playing today, Doxy?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm Persephone. What were the statistics that we landed on? It was 90% bitch, right? 10%.
Yeah,
Yes.
We might have dropped it to 80-20 after the
Oh,
bangers and
bangers
mash
and
session.
mash. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just got a job, and she's
Right.
opening up to a sweet little barman. That's who I am.
He's certainly not little, but he does run a bar. So that's true. We have Kimmy back with us today. Kimmy, how are you doing? Please elaborate on how you're doing.
I am doing just swell. I am playing Danny, a foppish human who I finally have her foppish hat.
Very nice.
Who's
Yes.
gonna be kind of useless in this campaign, I'm afraid, but we'll see.
I don't buy that for
Well,
a second.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. Well, we have Ruben back with us tonight. Ruben, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm good.
They,
I was saying before that there's a fire alarm that's going off and it was awful,
Right.
but now it's stopped just
Other
in
than
time,
that-
so we're good.
Well, it's a great day to be alive here in Penumbra. I am Nicholas Rattenbury, Human Bravo at your service. Penumbra's most eligible bachelor. A bit of a piece of work. I'm not sure any of my fellow party members actually like or trust me, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, art imitates life. I find myself in very similar situations.
That's
with just
fair.
the people around me. I'm like, is everyone hate me?
Yeah.
Just me? All right, guys. Well, Lydia, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me yet again. I'm Polaris. I'm a elf astrologer, not an astronomer.
Right.
That's a different job.
That'd be way more.
Different-
That
boring.
hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah. Amazing. You tilt us. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that very much. The PJ Soul will be real. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, Speedy, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing great. Happy to be here again after a couple weeks off. I'm excited as always to get into the incredibly dark and grim and sad world of Penumbra. What more could I want?
Right.
And I got my leeches with me. I got my razor blade. I'm ready to do whatever it is a
Shave.
barber surgeon does. Barb
Right.
surge.
Cut your hair.
Barb surge.
Those are the two actions. Those are the
Surge
versions of
Bob.
those actions.
Roll for Barb.
Yeah, please do
The
that.
root of
Barb,
surgeon
please.
is surge. Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, sometimes I think Penumbra is dark and terrible, and no world could possibly be like that. And then I look at the news. Well, Emmett, how are you doing today, my
Man,
friend?
Brutal.
I am. If you thought that this game wasn't coming back, it took a national emergency to bring us back together.
Right.
My name is Emmett. I'm Initiative on Twitter. Hey guys, how's it going? Be sure to like and subscribe. I wanted to say hi to everybody who's in the Twitch chat right now. And I'm excited to be back. I'm playing Tomb. He is an elf and he is an anarchist, which makes him scary and dangerous and probably, I mean, if people aren't sure if they trust Nicholas yet, they are certain they don't trust Tomb, and I don't blame them.
That's why we hang out. That's why we
Yeah.
went to go hang out together last episode.
Awesome.
There you go. Well, yeah, I'll do a quick recap here in just a few moments of what happened last week on the show, because it's been like several weeks for us playing in real life. If you're watching this back on YouTube, I guess it may have been as much as 3 seconds, but there you go. If you're watching on YouTube, you can, of course, come and watch us live here every Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern. It's a good old time to come along and watch the show live. And, of course, we've got a few sponsors that I'll run over today, of course. Today, we have Zweihander. That's what we're playing. And it's now on sale at Target.com. They only sell one tabletop role-playing game, and that's Dungeons & Dragons. So if you want to go check out... Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So definitely go and check it out. Target.com, search in Zweihander, and you'll find it. You can buy it over
I have been
there.
spending
So,
a good amount.
yeah.
I've been spending a good amount of time catching up on the book. It's intimidating looking. It does look like a lot, but you have to keep in mind that this is like 5 books in one, and it is really good value. So
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, really go and check it out. You're gonna thank yourself that you did. And of course, be sure to check out fancygrounds.com, which we're playing our virtual table of choice. We're playing Zweihander on it today. All the maps and tokens and images I load up into Fancy Grounds and share with my players so we can play online together. It's a good old time. Go and download for free on Steam or on our website. WhalingGames.co.uk is a go-to destination for tabletop war games, board games, and more, so be sure to check out their website there for any other tabletop gaming needs that you have. And last but not least, DiceEnvy.com is the place to go to get all your dice needs. They have a subscription box which sends dice to your house every single month for as low as just $5. You get some mystery dice each month, and you get 10% off their whole site when you use the coupon code EncounterRP at checkout. So go get some dice, my friends.
Wow.
Feed the addiction. You can, of course, if you haven't yet, retweet this tweet. Go ahead and do it. And, of course, donate to the game as well, as Utilitas has already, by giving players Nat 1s, Nat 20s, wild magic surges, and so much worse. But that being said, let's do a quick recap of what happened last time on the show, because, like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. So we had a fun episode last time. The guys got to Einem, and they met with Mash at the Horse and Mare Inn, and Mash was a friendly barkeep who always seemed to turn up whenever someone said his name, and with a simple menu of just mashed potatoes and whatever drinks were available, readily ingratiated himself with the party and gave them rooms to stay for at least a week, while they had a task to perform, which is, of course, they're trying to find out the source of this corruption, the source of the monsters that they found in the forests of Arkenbury. And so they set about of various different tasks in their own professions, seeking out a couple of leads, of which they found several. The first of which we'll follow, because we're going to dive into that shortly, is that there's a doctor in town named Dr. Finnias, who Charlie has a audience with coming up in a few moments in this episode. It seems to like he knows quite a lot about what's going on in terms of like the plague in the city and probably all the surgeons as well. So also rumored by Mother Paulina, who Polaris went to speak with, that this Finnias actually has some connections to the crows. Of course, the party had met one of the strange crows a couple of weeks back, the Red Princess of Red Carnage, rather. And so they got Finnias to speak with. And also Nick and Tomb, although Tomb wasn't here last time, they went to speak with Marcus Viridian, who's a local moneylender who is an inordinate amount of guards around his townhouse at the moment. It seems very strange. So Nick went to have a conversation with him. Marcus is clearly worried about something, and seems very, very scared. Though it wasn't quite clear what, until Nick had a chat with Mark. And Mark, one of the other guards of the place, who really was a Mark, certainly
a bit of a Mark.
for Nick. Yeah, he was certainly marked down. And well,
Every time you say Mark, I get whiplash.
yeah.
sorry there, friend.
You're speedy.
Stop
It's
making
the difference.
NPCs with my real name.
Right. just to get back at me, a future NPC is going to be named Ruben, and it'll just be
I'm
the
gonna
worst for me.
start bringing them in each week, and it'll just be like
Right.
super passive aggressive shots at all
Right.
of you. Yeah, that's how that will work. That's how that will work. But hey, Nick learned from Mark that there was someone who turned up dead who'd gone down a river a couple of days ago. And he had like a strange person with a mask was seen nearby. There's all this talks of like a ghost and suddenly something weird is going on somewhere down the river that Marcus Viridian is scared of, but hasn't yet told Nick about yet. He hasn't really been quite forthcoming. The party sort of reconvened at the end of the last episode, sort of catching up on one another's leads. They decided they wanted to go with Charlie. A bunch of people wanted to go with Charlie to meet with this Dr. Finnias, because he seemed to be the kind of person that might know what's going on around his town and a good connection to have, while others, there's some suggestion of going to see the little girl and look after her. Of course, it's Olaf's daughter, who is sort of now an orphan and possibly about to fall into sort of an orphanage situation that some people feel responsible for at a party. Others feel, it's whatever. It's Penumbra. So there's that. So, yeah, really main points for Tomb, I guess, is that you met with a local moneylender, Marcus Viridian, and he seems like there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on, and there's some talk about some weird stuff going on down the river, and that's what you
Hashtag Occupy Viridian, so...
Right.
Exactly.
And we got to hang out a little bit, and Tomb, I decided was going to tag along with Nick because we needed to find gainful employment as well, and standing in front of a house and looking tough is not hard. So.
Right. And meanwhile, Danny's has a meeting this evening with a couple of the matrons of various different houses in the area, and she's going to look to get some information from them. And she's made a friend as well, whose name is somewhere on this 50-page Word document that I have. Yes, Marina, that's it, yeah. Verena, yeah. Beautiful. So... Yes, Marena. Yeah. So let's kick things off. You guys have been spent the evening, I think, at the Horse and Mare with Mash. Important point, of course. Persephone now works for Mash. She is Labanga's to his Mash, and
right.
She also bought a bunch of nails last week. Right? Was it nails? Needles. That's right.
Forgot about that.
All of the needles. Oh dear. Yes. So you have all of the.
I don't remember how many you let me have. I thought I wrote it down, but I super did.
We were definitely very specific. Yeah.
It was enough.
I feel like it was 20
needles.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh yeah, you get a bunch of needles, and you were like, no. How many needles do I have?
I need to know. I have to know.
So let's kick things off. I think you guys probably spent the evening there and had a sleep and then woke up and decided what it was you were going to do. So before we dive into the roleplay, did we have a division of who wanted to go speak with Finnias and who wanted to do other things? Is there like a consensus there that we wanted to come to before diving into the game?
Nick wanted everyone to go everywhere and just do everything in order. But that seemed unpopular, and so we're going to, some of us are going to split up and go our separate ways.
Yeah, I wanted to, I thought trying to bring in that many people to a guy who had technically just invited Charlie might be like a bad idea for an introduction, so I just wanted to have a couple people who might have something to,
Also, I don't
have
think
some domain knowledge there in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Tim wants to double up on the unsettling doctors, so I think he's going to avoid that doctor.
Okay.
Okay.
He's also very establishment, and he's like running a monopoly on doctors in the area, so you definitely wouldn't like him.
No.
I don't like the idea. So, are we just like all down in the tavern now at this point, talking about what we're doing?
Yeah, let's say that you guys have woken up. Everyone's got meetings on the agenda today. So, Danny, you've got meetings with the various contacts that you've made, and there's a doctor, and there's Marcus Viridian or Mother Paulina, anyone that you wanted to go and see really today. So you're down. Mash has already brought you some morning mash. And I think he may have given Persephone the day off today to go out and do some work. So you guys find yourselves around it. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It's like, love how in this game we're like actually tracking Persephone's like work shifts. Like that's the level that we're on right now.
Nash, I didn't get my schedule.
Spent like 17 years of my real life being an actual barmaid, and now I'm fantasizing about being
Full
a
circle.
barmaid.
And we need to keep track of your paid leave. We need to keep track of your sick leave. If you're going to be gone for extended periods of time, we need to look at like FMLA.
How much are you making in tips?
Right. Yeah, is there tip compliance?
Probably not much. She's not nice.
Every brass penny matters.
Yeah.
Listen,
Right.
what are the taxes like in Penumbra? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk unions.
What's my health plan?
I think
need to know.
I think we should pivot to a union-based campaign. I think we should organize. Anyways, what are we doing?
But wait, but does MASH match 401k contributions? Because that is important to Persephone in her place of employment.
All I'm saying
Right.
is seize the means of production from MASH.
right.
And
I could never.
Potato
Very-
masher. That's what it takes.
very
get the
clearly-
potato masher from it.
From the Mashwazi back to the Bangers Proletariat.
This is it, guys. This is the show. We don't
This is the
actually
show now.
play it.
Yep.
Good as it gets.
As the party's anarchist, I'm sure I've pretty much
We're now
seen
playing
the
Lemonade Stand Tycoon.
Oh.
It's been a couple of weeks. We got to get the
All right.
giggles
Party.
out.
All right.
Fellow, what do we call each other? Are we crow's feet? Are we Blackhearts? What are we? What do we refer to our
Fellow kids.
cadre as?
We're a group.
A
Do we
group?
need
We're all
a name?
We
friends.
don't have a
We're a band.
the band of six
Oh.
of us.
The murder of
So
Crow.
it seems the murder of crows is not half bad.
I
So
think
it seems
that
we
the
have a
Crows have that one.
that's
Yeah.
We are not crows.
fair. Conspiracy of crows.
No. I need to know what
Um,
we call ourselves. I'm working on limericks, guys. So I like band, though.
Oh.
Good job.
Band.
Mhm. Unless we do want to give
Um,
ourselves a property.
Right.
Well, I think we're in the thing now where we're just kind of getting together and like playing local shows, and later we'll have a fight because someone's girlfriend wants to be in the band, but we say no.
Right.
And we're
Right.
actually better than we are, and we're really subconscious. We're like, we're really self-conscious about that. We don't want that to happen. So we've got to go through like 3 or 4 band names before we get to one.
We're not that kind of band.
Anywho,
We're
I-
definitely indie.
We
Tim
definitely
would like
should
to-
have a code name. What?
Toon would like to continue to stick by Nick in whatever goes down today.
Okay. I do think that we should have a code name to refer to ourselves as in mixed company. So it's all fun and games, but we definitely should refer to ourselves in some way. My recommendation would be to refer to the group as the Widow Willowsby.
I was going to say the Widows,
The Widows.
because that's where we met.
That is
Not
an
a bad name.
easier, shorter name.
Sure.
on that.
So shall we convene the
Rhymes with
Widows,
that one, Danny.
etc.? I like that.
Hell
All right, so
yeah.
we're the Widows. Great. So
Oh, that's
some of
sad.
the
We all did
Widows,
lose our families.
I mean, yeah,
Go to Cafe Press and check out our merch.
right. So some of the Widows, we're going to be sending the Barb and Surge professional along with the witches up to visit Dr. Finnias, I believe.
You don't
What
know I'm
other
a witch.
stop? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know you're a witch. Yeah. The witch, the barmaid,
And you know-
and
The astrologer.
sorry. And yeah,
The barber. Wait. Yeah, that.
and the barber.
Us 3.
Yeah.
I'm a registered witch, so
Okay. That's still freaky.
Registered witch is still a witch.
Look, I'm not. It's again. By the way, I don't know if we've had this conversation.
Oh, sorry. Am I
yet,
not allowed
but-
to say witch?
That's like the difference between a criminal and a convicted criminal. It's like you're a criminal.
Polaris, I don't know if we've had this conversation yet, but the fact that, as you know, magic is not particularly common, and when there is a person of magical means, people in power seek them out. You understand that? And I'm sure it's happened in the past. So, it's we're going to get callers at some point. It's just something to keep in mind. Especially in a place like
We
this
did
where
have
it's
this
a lot of power.
conversation, and I told you not to worry about me.
Okay.
And then I read you your sign, which I can't remember.
Scorpio.
I knew that.
Just trying to look out, Okay, so the places we have to visit are, I guess we're gonna go visit Katrine while we're down at the docks. But we do want to go down to the docks at some point. We have Dr. Finnias to go visit. We have a couple of other points of interest of various kinds, but they're less important at the moment, including but not limited to Mother Paulina again up at the temple, Marcus Viridian again, so that we can get gainful employment for those who are interested. Again, that job does not seem hard, so not terrible. And we definitely want to get connected with anyone who has more information on the power structure in town, people who aren't necessarily people at the temple.
I'm going to be hitting a few taverns and establishments tonight with Mirena. I'll see what information I can dredge up. Tomb.
I can book some gigs for the widows.
Polaris, Persephone, and Charlie are all going to visit Dr. Finnias. Do you want to come to the docks? Well, I wasn't going to go because I'm not fond of children, but if there are three of us, then that's two other people for the child to potentially glom onto.
You also still think my name is Hilda.
Oh, do
Right.
you?
That's right.
Hilda. Shit.
Maybe she's told you that her
Yeah.
middle name is Persephone. She just goes by Hilda.
Hilda Brunswick is what we know you as. Or Bangers.
Oh yeah, Bangers is going. So
Bangers
do you wanna
Bangers
come-
Brunswick.
You can call
sounds
me
like a
Bangers
really
if you
good
want your
fight.
fingers broken.
Angus Brunswick.
Fair.
Danny,
Danny, when we go down to the docks, the main mission down there will not be the child. If you don't want to take part in that particular interaction, that is more than all right.
No, I'll go with you today. That makes sense.
I'm pretty good with kids, so.
Good. I'm not. I hate them. They were always mean to me. And even now when I'm an adult, I don't like them.
I'm inclined to agree, but whatever.
Well, great. That sounds like a great group to bring to an 8-year-old's house.
They've been poorly educated. They've been educated by,
Fair.
not by real people.
It'll be fine.
I won't be mean to her unless she's mean to me. I mean, if she starts something, I'm gonna.
Finish it.
She's probably had a rough couple of days. I assume the Blackhearts paid her a visit and informed her about her father, and then moved on,
nice.
and she's in that house alone. So
I'll be nice.
okay.
Okay,
Pepper.
so Charlie, Polaris, Persephone to Dr. Finnias, Danny, Tube, and Nick to Katrine. All right, sweet.
Let's split up, gang.
Yeah. Hands in the center, break. It's cool to see you guys get breakfast, and we'll kick off with the scene with Dr. Finnias then. So Charlie, Polaris, and Persephone. Charlie has a meeting he's been invited to. You guys haven't not been in... Well, you haven't been uninvited. You just weren't invited in the first place. So, he didn't say that he couldn't have a +2, but yeah, it's whatever. Doctors are notorious for their taking several patients at one time. So, yeah. You roll up to it's a hospital basically where you head your way through the city from the Horse and Mare, and you find yourself in this long stone hospital, which is probably for mostly wealthier inhabitants of the city of Iden. This, if we're going to talk about unions, let's talk about healthcare in Penumbra. There isn't any. you have to pay for it first of all, and it's also not very good. So you're likely to get a leech treatment or get your arm cut off. It's pretty barbaric in that sense. And it's also just a bunch of shit that just wouldn't work in any sense, but there you go. So you turn up and there is like a reception desk, medieval reception desk, where you are expected by the receptionist, Charlie, this young man, not much more than a boy really, probably about 11 years old, that recognizes your name when you hand him the invitation, and he looks confused towards Polaris and Persephone and says, I've only got one name down here, mister.
Promise you're there with me. They're fellow practitioners.
I'll pull out my my registered mage paperwork and show him.
Oh yeah, he's. I love how Polaris is clocked, and that's a really big deal. And she's like, "Here's my it's like the FBI badge, Polaris. I'm with the witches." The little boy. I'm thinking to Alex, and it's a crit success to Danny. Thank you, Alex. He saw his eyes widen for a moment, and despite being young, he clearly recognizes this as some pretty fancy stuff. And he's, I see. Well, I suppose Dr. Finnias wouldn't mind then, right?
Of course he won't.
Not at all.
Okay. Well, you can go in. And he sort of he bows in reference towards Polaris.
I'll nicely kind of tap him in a nice way.
A nice tap, little bop, and he kind of grins. Yeah, boot the snoot. So you're let into Dr. Finnias' office a few moments later, and behind this glass panel door with Dr. Finnias' name on it, you step into the room. It's got a huge desk, a truly quite huge desk, with papers neatly ordered all around it. They're not really scattered in any way. Look like they've been placed there with some care. And you see Dr. Finnias, who is a tall and very thin fellow with a long hooked nose. Looks like it may have been broken several times in the past and sort of reset into place not quite correctly. He wears an expensive-looking coat, which is more sort of cream than it is really white. It looks like it's expensive. It's probably seen some wear over the past few years. And he has a pocket watch, which he's just sort of closing and putting into his pocket, which is also a sign of great wealth to have something like that. And he spins on his heels, expecting one person, and takes a look at the two of you for a moment with a raised eyebrow for a moment. Mr. Barber, I believe, and was not expecting any guests, so I'm more than pleased to see them.
Glad to hear you're accepting. I have to say I was a bit surprised to receive your summons, and disappointed, to say the least. These are hard times.
Well, why don't you introduce your friends first of all before bulldozering over me into some points? Why not have a drink first of all?
Of course. This is Polaris.
Enchanted.
If you didn't catch it from outside, she's a registered mage.
His eyebrows shoot up.
I'll tap my staff on the ground.
This is Hilda, another associate. Not bad with a leech.
Clumsy, sarcastic curtsy.
Yeah, he grins. I see. Well, would you like something to drink? We have some very fine drinks here. He sort of gestures to a bunch of decanters that he has on his desk with various different liquids in them and alcohols. Early for some, but...
I quit drinking.
A resplendent offering.
And Jorian, thank you for the donation, my friend. Gift a pet to... Who do you want to give this to? Or just for the party? Okay. Thank you, Jorian. I'm going to work that in here in a minute. Thank you, dude. He smiles and puts down the decanter as you refuse his offer. So, you received my summons. You said you were surprised to see them? Why is this?
Well, I was merely practicing some barbery, some surgery on the streets. Offering up my services like any good businessman would. These are desperate times. People need a good barber.
Well, you see, there's a small problem there recently, and it's not I who's imposing this law. It's the nobles, you understand, are concerned that there are those practitioners of the arts who have not been verified by myself and my organization who are practicing on the streets and telling the common peasant folks all sorts of nonsense, getting it into their heads that they can be cured or diseased with one tincture or potion or another. You see, they're very foolish, these people. They don't understand much. There have been some common charlatans who have been deceiving these poor people, and so we've made it clear that we will verify anyone who is trying to practice with an item, with my own two eyes.
Why you?
I am the head physician and have been here for 2 decades now. What are your credentials, young man?
Well, I am quite probably the last surviving barber surgeon of Ostwald.
A great loss. The rest of them. Ostwald, you say, so you fled. Did you have a practice beforehand?
I did. Nice little shop. Inherited all the work from my father.
His name?
Theodore Barber.
Sort of mouth curls down in a moment of distaste. Unfortunate that you would come from such a line.
So you
I
have
heard of your
him.
father. Oh yes, he was known to me. Not an excellent practitioner, let us say.
His deeds were unconscionable. I can't argue with that.
But then the sins of the father, should they be inherited to the son? I do not believe such things. Why did you see fit to bring these two delightful friends of yours here to this meeting? I'm somewhat confused. Are they character witnesses or something?
Test subjects.
Good lord, are you sick? You look like you may
Quite
be.
the opposite.
Oh.
We're all immune to the plague.
Really? And how might that be?
I don't know if I should tell you yet. I imagine you have something else in mind here you're not quite saying yet. You're not just here to verify me as a registered barber surgeon, are you?
Well, that was my primary concern. Now, of course, I must deal with the larger issue of you being immune. Presumably you are gods of some kind. Before my very presence, I should have been bowing, doing my prayers. Is it the Emperor's good grace that protects you so?
That depends. You consider the crows to be part of the Emperor's?
He looks over towards the door and sort of shuffles over to close it. One shouldn't speak of such things. The walls have ears. But no, I do not consider the crows to be a part of the Emperor's league of practitioners by any means. Tell me, have you had some dealing with them? Did you travel to Arkenbury?
I thought about it, but no. While traversing the forest, we encountered some things. Rather dubious things.
Really?
Beasts.
I've heard the rumors, but no one had ever survived to tell the tale. I thought maybe it's just ghost stories. Beasts, you say? What were they like?
Creatures of blood and sinew. By all accounts, I looked at them after they were just taken care of, and by all accounts they shouldn't have been alive and walking in the first place.
I see.
Like people, but less. Skinless, just blood and muscle walking around, craving death. But we survived. We killed them. And even though we had been exposed to them and the plague of Ostwald and the forest, we're still here.
Well, it's quite an extraordinary tale. I can hardly disbelieve it, after all, with such vaulted company. A mage. You saw this as well. He looks over towards Polaris.
Of course I did. Everything Charlie just said I saw too.
Fascinating. Well, why don't you take a seat? Seems like we all got off on the wrong foot here. Small misunderstanding about the practitioners. Of course, I will immediately write your name, young man, into the list of approved vendors. I'll do it this very moment. In fact, I get a quill and write your name down on the list. Very good, very good. The creatures, where did they come from then?
That is why we've come to you.
Yeah. You think I know where they came from?
I
You're not
you have an
accusing me,
idea.
are you?
Oh, certainly not.
Well, I may have an idea or two now that you bring this to my attention. Though I must ask, what concern is it of yours, these creatures? Now you're within the walls of them, surely you feel safe again?
Haven't felt quite safe since Ostwald fell.
Yes.
Took less than an hour. I can't imagine this city would last any longer.
Yes, I heard the news of Ostwald. Terrible business. But perhaps it can be avoided here. Perhaps these creatures are the bringers of this disease. Side effect of it, perhaps. I had a body show up a couple of days ago. Turned up from the river, some drunkard or layabout or something. They sent them to me because there was something on him that they couldn't quite explain, something they hadn't seen before. And well, I took a look at it, I suppose, and it wasn't something that I had seen before either. A strange buboes and something like a fungus, I suppose, on the man's body running up his throat. It's unlike something I'd seen before. It was strange green. It hadn't killed him exactly. I couldn't be certain, but it certainly was something else. This man had been down river a few days, so perhaps there is some fungus there.
What day did you say you found him?
2 days past, they found him and brought him to me. Usually I don't take random dead people into my offices, but this one was slightly different, I suppose. The look on his face, he was transfixed. His face was paralyzed, like it was stone, in a shocked expression, as though he had seen something terrible and as he had died. It struck me as odd. And
But you said it didn't seem the fungus was what killed him.
I couldn't be certain. Perhaps it hadn't taken long enough to kill him, but he certainly died with it growing upon him, which is certainly odd. Usually such growths will take several days, weeks perhaps, to grow on a person. One can be infected with fungus, of course, but so virile would have been noticed before. I had some of his fellow workers here to ask him a few questions, and none of them had said they had seen anything like it upon the man. His name was Marion. Yes, Marion. I believe he was a sellsword of types.
Sellsword.
Hmm.
I guess we might look into him a bit more.
That would be a start, I would say. Yes, I would also mention to be careful of mentioning the crows in this private settings. The city is very devout, to a fault, some would say. There are those within the church in particular who would see this conversation as heretical in nature. I would very much not like for word of this to spread back to them in any credible source. I suspect that they suspect me already of not being quite as devout as they might hope. So you can understand my caution.
Understood.
Is there anything else I could help you with?
Don't believe so. Hilda, Polaris, do you have anything you'd like to ask?
I don't think he could answer any of the questions that I have. I'll need to think about this.
Might I ask you a question?
Okay.
What does a registered mage find herself traveling with such companions on such a quest? No offense intended, of course.
Well, when your city is consumed by a plague, you travel with the people that get you out.
Understood. If these legends are to be believed, the ones the crows have spoken of, by the way, such books upon them are also heretical in nature and few and far between. I myself have only glanced at a few on occasion. How about the creatures of sinew, strife, as you mentioned, were said to have been easily defeated by such magics. This was back in the time where the crows were powerful and still with us. But I suspect you will be useful in tracking them down. You know, if you had... you found something? Yes. He leans in, very interested.
I did find magic to be useful against them as far as defending ourselves.
Yes. If you had something of theirs, an item which they carried, a symbol which maybe they had with them. I'm no expert on the things, but I suspect that would prove useful in finding more of their kin. It said that they wear masks and creations, this almost like puppets or marionettes. Masks could allow, at great cost or expense, danger to see what they were seeing. But perhaps that's just another ghost story as well.
No, that's good to know. But
I'll do some reading on the matter. I haven't looked over the verses in quite a few years now. It's very dangerous for me to do so, but I will risk this matter to help your endeavor. I do wish the best for these people in the city, even if they are by and large, foolish and idiotic people. The city is good. Well, I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time. If there's ever anything you need or any medical concerns which you have, then please speak with my receptionist, John. He's not very good, but, occasionally he manages to book meetings with people, so there's that. And I've written your name onto the list of approved vendors, young Charlie, so you should be able to work here. And if you wish for more gainful employment and find yourself with more time on your hands, then you can apply to the Guild of Physicians to get yourself a formal training.
appreciate that. Be a good next step.
The acceptance rate is low, but if you are dedicated and work hard, I believe you could pass the test.
I think Charlie
sure I
could
could.
definitely pass the test. He's the best doctor I've ever met.
And I'm not even a doctor.
Yes. Quite. Well, if there's any other concerns you have, feel free to bring them to me. I'll try and keep my ear to the ground, as it were.
One last thing. If you're looking to stop the plague from spreading to you and yours, I'd recommend letting a bit more blood than usual. That's all.
Very well. Take it under advisement. If you do go traveling down that river and encounter any of the strange fungus that Marion had encountered, my best recommendation would be to cover your mouth to prevent yourself from breathing in spores. A scarf or cloth around your face may do you well.
Perhaps
Or
even
a mask. Quite. Well, have a few appointments to make, sir. I appreciate your time.
And you as well.
So you guys head out. And little young boy John is there waiting. He's like been obviously listening into the conversation, or trying to listen into the conversation, and looks sort of embarrassed and flushes red when you guys come out. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to see if you were going to do any magic.
We didn't do any magic in there.
Persephone leans in and she's like, "You want to see a magic trick?"
He's super into it. He's like,
She reaches behind his ear and like looks for excitement on his face.
you find it in abundance.
And then pulls a leech. Holds it up to his eyes.
I thought you were gonna flip him the bird, so that's a lot better of a magic trick.
Thanks, Fred.
Did that come out of my ear?
She puts it back in a jar and just winks and turns and walks out.
Nice.
Was that Zweihander magic? I don't know.
Right.
It was in her hand the whole time. Let's.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so we'll cut back then to Danny, Toom, and Nick. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I'm confused on the timeline. 2 nights ago, when they found that body, were we here?
You may have. I think you just got into the city, so you've been in here for 2 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank
But
you.
it's a big city, so
Hang
yeah. No worries. Yeah, so we'll come back to the other 3, and you guys are headed off to Katrine's house, who's a little girl, recently orphaned, daughter of Olaf, the Blackheart, who died along the road in Arkenbury of you guys. So you head over to the poor part of town. It's sort of like the flea market, flea district, where it's series of ramshackle pieces of wood and cardboard placed together, more so than any real house. The address that you have is, it doesn't have like a number or anything. It's like the big, the small little silver shack on the left-hand side of the bridge. That's sort of like the direction that you have. And you see this little girl going around, and she fits the description of Katrine. She's small. She has blonde locks of hair and sort of dirty, rugged appearance. And she is sort of, I guess, pottering around the little shack as an 8-year-old might. She has like a small that loaf of bread that she looks like she's about to tuck into for breakfast. How do you guys want to approach this? Are you guys going in together? Or are you...
Right. So we're right now in like a shanty town as opposed to down by the river.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not too
Like,
far
this
from
is
the
like-
dock district. Yeah.
Right, but this is like in the floodplain, so it makes sense for it to be low housing.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that looks like the girl that fits our description. Should I just go? I mean, it's a bit strange for me to just go and talk to a little girl, but
Nope, we're with you here. Just yep. And I'm gonna kind of push Nick in front of me. Just go ahead. There you go. We're right behind you.
I'm going to watch your back while you attempt
Okay.
to talk to a small child.
I'll watch. Too.
yeah, great.
If that's safe.
Right here.
I will say, oi, Katrine. Katrine, is that your name?
She her eyes dart over in recognition. Continue. I don't know you.
No, you don't. I'll put my hands on my knees and lean down and say, no, you don't. But I knew your dad. I knew your dad.
Oh.
Olaf was your father? Yeah.
Where is my daddy? Have you seen him?
Oh,
You had to say once.
Marie and Jean haven't stopped by? The Blackhearts hadn't stopped?
Shakes her head.
Well,
Haven't been here. I've been out around for a couple of days, I think.
I'll tell you what. Let's I'll let you. Would you mind if we came with you back to wherever it is that you are, or do you want to go stop for lunch somewhere, or go down to the. We should sit down and talk. So would that be all right?
She like sits down.
In the middle of
Sit
the.
here.
All right. Sure, I'll sit down. Cross-legged.
Are those your friends?
Yeah.
Hi.
Those are my friends.
I'm gonna grab Toon by the arm and lead him over there.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be your friends too. My name's Nick, and I'll put my hand out.
She like shakes it a little bit. Nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you, Katrine. We
Danny.
met your dad. Oh, apologies. This is Danny, and this is Toom.
Hello.
She looks scared.
They don't be frightened. We're friends.
Okay.
We ran into your dad recently, about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago. Do you know what he was doing? Do you know what he was doing for work?
He didn't work in the city.
Yeah, he was.
He works somewhere else.
Yeah, he was working out in the woods. He was doing important work out in the woods with the Blackhearts. Do you know who the Blackhearts are? You've heard of the Blackhearts? No? Well, the Blackhearts are a group of people that are protecting people that can't protect themselves. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous work.
They're the good guys.
And they're the good guys. That's exactly right. And your dad was one of the good guys. And unfortunately, your dad ran into some bad guys with us, and we tried to fight them off. And we did. We did fight them off, but your dad
He would fight them
died.
off.
He would. He tried, but he died. Katrine. He died. I'm sorry.
Like Mummy?
I suppose so. Yes.
So he's not coming back.
No. He's not. Now, we're here because we were friends with your dad. And now we're friends with you. And we want to make sure that you're safe and taken care of. We have your dad's things, and I will, whatever things we have of Olaf's that our group had. Did we give any of that, Game Master, to Jean and Marie, or do we have all that?
I think you kept that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's about this point where she just starts to cry. And it's just that sort of, bawling that, is not consolable.
Yeah. This is going to be really hard for a while. And I'm not going to lie to you, kid. You're never really going to get past it. I lost my parents. Toom, would you relax back there? I lost my parents when I was about your age. And it was hard.
Mine are gone too.
It's really tough. But I'm here. Danny's here. You can do it. It's going to be hard. But you can do it. So,
I do have friends that
well,
help you through.
yeah. So we're here to help. I grew up in the orphanage right here in Einem. Now that's an option for you if you want. I'm not going to make you go there. If you think that you can make it on your own here, by all means. But the matron there is a lovely woman, and they can help. You tell us what you want to do.
She kind of, I guess it's like, 10, 15 minutes before, she doesn't really have any crying left in her, and she sort of sniffles and is like, Daddy said if anything bad happened, that I should stay here. I have a house, and she points towards a little, shack.
Okay.
So,
What can we do to help? What do you have enough? Are there any adults that you know that live in Einem that check in on you?
Not really.
Does your dad have any friends that live nearby?
She sort of perks up a little bit and is like, you said John?
Jean, yeah.
He said he was his friend.
Well, when Jean is in town, I'm sure that he will visit. But again, like your dad, he didn't work here. He was one of the good guys. Is one of the good guys. So...
You're his
we'll
friends?
We're his friends, too. That's right. But again, we're not
You're the
staying
good guys.
here. We're also the good guys.
We try. It's not
Okay.
easy being a good guy. Can you be a good guy with us?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Kind of hungry
Well,
now.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's go
so-
get some to eat. Yeah? Where do you like to eat? What's your favorite?
Pie.
Pie? Great. I love pie. Let's go find a pie place.
Danny, do you
Get some
also love pie?
Pie is my favorite.
We all love pie. See? We're all friends
What's-
now. We're going to go get some pie.
What's your favorite pie place?
She takes you by the hand, and in that sort of way that children are at extremes and couldn't
Yeah.
quickly
And I'm just
go
going to
from
grimace
zero to
as
100.
I'm led by the hand and she's not looking at me. I'm just going to look behind me at Toom and Danny and be like, just not
Yeah, I
the
will make
best.
I know faces.
And then we'll go to the pie place, and then I will buy her a pie.
All right. Yeah, you guys.
How many brass
they-
pennies is a pie? Hopefully, only
Uh,
brass pennies.
Pies or like fruit pies?
Well, yeah, they're like cooked meats pies, and then they probably also do sort of like sweet pies as well. So if you wanted like a dessert pie, you could.
They do the Cornish pasty half and half.
Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Shepherd's pie also. So yeah, I'll get a pie now. I'll get a sweet pie and a savory pie
Okay.
for Katrine, and we'll get those to go. How many brass
Okay.
pennies am I spending?
I'm actually looking at the commodity table now.
Please be only brass pennies.
Looking for pies.
I'm not a rich man.
Oh man, it's like barrels of
Pies
stuff
are on
is-
that list.
Yeah, if I Control F pies.
A foie gras pie with a gold dusting.
Mm.
Ooh.
Expensive
Yeah,
tastes.
Truffle oil.
Mm.
Like a dairy pie, not like
As
a-
we're as we're going through this shanty town, by the way, I want to be keeping my eye out for anything that piques my attention that might be how do I word this? I guess crow related or anti-government.
Okay. Okay, so the hot meal fit for the lowborn, which is probably what we've got here, is 4 brass pennies.
Great. I will
So,
buy
yeah.
the equivalent of 2 of those, you think? 1.5 of those? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get 2 of those for, yeah.
All right, I'm going to mark off that.
Is her name Katrine or Katrina?
Katrine. So Catryn. I'll try and put NPC names in the our private chat here as we.
Okay. And then
As
I
we
will request that we go back to her abode.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
can
she's
see
happy
what
to
that
take
is.
you there. Yeah, it's a small sort of ramshackle piece of several pieces of metal which have been sort of strung together, and there's a little lantern in there, and there's a small bedroll, which seems to be everything that's been like left to her, and she has a little bag which has her few sort of earthly possessions, which includes like a little straw doll and that small amount of money, probably like 10 brass pennies that she has to her name.
How many? No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to.
She's rich. She has 3 brass pennies now.
Great. Yeah, no. So I will deliver Olaf's items there,
Mhm.
and I will
Okay,
say, so we will be here in Einem, not very long, but we want to make sure that you're able to move on and have a good life. So what I'm going to do is 2 things. 1, I'm going to let the orphanage know that you are here, that you're not going to join them, but if you ever need anything, you ever need a meal, you ever need a bed, you ever get hurt, you ever need a friend, they're there for you. Can I do that?
She nods.
The second thing I'm going to do is we have another friend in town who runs a business, and I'm going to ask him if it would be all right if you stopped by, he could give you some food. He runs a place called the Horse and Mare. They have a
Mash.
really limited MASH. Yeah, you know MASH? Okay, you know that he has a really
Heard of
limited
it.
menu. Okay, but
I like
but if you're
pies.
hungry, yeah. Well, we can see if we can. I'll see if Mash is interested in expanding his horizons a little bit with the menu.
Okay. Thank you,
Katrine, it
Nick.
was really nice to. Of course, and I will extend my hand again.
Mhm.
It was very nice to meet you. We aren't going to be here very long, but we'll be here a little bit. So, stay safe.
Okay. Hope I see you soon.
I lean down to shake her hand,
She grabs it.
and I look into her eyes and I say, "One of the good guys."
She smiles. And she waves at Danny.
Katrine, I write limericks. I wrote a limerick for you. I didn't have much time, so
What's that?
it's like a poem. Like just a little pretty thing. It's this
Like a
one.
song.
I wrote it really fast, but the lovely girl was named Katrine, stronger than most and especially keen. She will persevere, her friends remain near, her future is bright to be seen.
That's nice. Can I have it?
Yeah, here. And I'll tear it out of my journal.
She takes it. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's really beautiful, Danny. Well, we have to go now. We have some other appointments.
Okay.
But we'll see you soon, okay?
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye. And when we leave, I will turn to Danny and Toom and say, not a word. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about... I don't want to talk about that. And then move and immediately start walking towards the docks.
Okay. All right, let's cut back over. Then with Charlie, Polaris, and Persephone, you've just left Dr. Finnias's offices. What do you guys want to do now?
I would turn to Charlie. I think that Polaris keeps like her notebook where she like does the sketches of like the sky from that night. And I would flip back 2 pages for 2 nights ago, and I'd show him and be like, 2 nights ago, it was treachery, and that's when they found that man.
That's right, isn't it? And that's... And he was a sellsword.
That's what he said, but couldn't ask him.
Yeah. Well, Nick was saying he had met someone who ran a band of sellswords. He might know something, I guess.
Yes. We should meet back up with them soon to let them know what we found about. It's just... I don't have a good feeling about the river, and if we go there, I think we need to be very careful.
Persephone just sprinkles some herbs in a cloth and puts it over her mouth. Right.
I agree. We shouldn't go there just yet. We need to talk this out. And, well, I'll wait till we get back. And then we'll go back to the bar. When we're there, I'll kind of try and bring Polaris and Persephone into the room in which I've been staying, and I will pull out of my things the mask that I took.
Wait, did we know that you took that?
Nope.
No.
Ugh. Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
Do it.
Super gross. Yeah, I don't think any of us knew that you have that.
Yeah, I think he slightly handed it.
Ugh. So you showed that to us?
Yeah.
I think that Polaris would kind of like side-eye you, but like get why you'd want to do that, but I'd step away and like maybe like poke at it with my staff. Charlie, why did you take that?
I don't quite know.
The blood was all gone from it. You didn't need it.
It's some sort of artifact of those beasts. Thought it might come in handy.
Think you can
Didn't
study it?
expect-
Think you'll learn
No.
anything from it? Do you think it's dangerous?
Definitely.
Then I think either you oughtn't tell the others and feign to us that you've gotten rid of it, or get rid of it.
Dr. Finnias said that the mask might hold some answers. That
Charlie,
wearing it...
I agree.
Fine.
I think we'll just I think we never saw this. And you can decide what you want to do.
Okay.
You're the surgeon. If you think this is going to come in handy, fine, but... And she, like, holds the cloth to her mouth and is backing away. I want no part in it.
Understood. I don't particularly want to wear it if I don't have to, but if we do need answers, it's there. I'm telling you because I trust you and because I don't want to end up putting this on myself and having something terrible happen and having all of you be surprised and confused.
I think it's pretty easy
Charlie.
to not put on a mask, Charlie.
I know, and I won't.
I'm glad that you showed it to us, and I guess part of me is glad that you have it, but I just don't want to see it.
All right. I put it away.
We're not going to tell the others about this. I don't think they would understand.
All right. Not a word then. Go downstairs and wait.
Okay, so let's come back to team number 2 with Tomb and Danny and Nick. You guys were headed towards the docks?
Well, I'm just sort of walking. I don't even know where the docks are, so I'm just sort of going in a direction.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you can follow the smell of the docks to find out if you like.
I don't think my mental... Oh, that's a good point. I would probably be headed towards the orphanage instead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would be... that's where I would be going first, but I would not be making eye contact. I would be just on autopilot, headed in that direction.
You know the way, so we'd be following you.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
would just
walking
be-
behind Nick.
I would be stern and silent and not pleased the entire way.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
walking
So,
behind Nick and quickly rewriting down that limerick because I liked it and I tore it out and gave it to her, but I don't want to forget it.
okay.
I'd turn to Nick and say, like, those were good pies.
I'll glance over at Tomb and nod. And that's it. And then I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying another word unless someone makes me until we get to the orphanage.
For sure. So yeah, you get there, and we'll say the woman's name who you recognize from your time here. Same woman? She seemed like she was old when you knew her, but it's like, I guess when you're a child, you kind of think that adults are old. And
She looks like one of those like Howl's Moving Castle women who just are like their entire face is wrinkles.
Right, yeah, she actually probably looks quite familiar as similar to Widow Willersby that you ran into about a couple of weeks before. Sort of like hunched over now, a bit crone-like, and it's a common room, and there's like 100 children packed into it, all screaming and running around, and and she sort of looks up towards the group of you with suspicious eyes, and says, You're looking to find a home for some children?
And I know this woman's name?
Yeah, her name is, sorry, I forgot about that. Her name is Armada.
Armada?
So like Armada, but without an
Right.
R in there. Yeah.
Matron Armada, good to see you. I am going to be filling out some paperwork for a child who is in Einem and may drop by on occasion, but won't be requiring a residence. give me all the paperwork that I need. That's all I require.
Fine. And she shuffles over a bunch of papers towards you to start writing them.
And I sort of glance at all the children, and I am visibly very uneasy being in this building.
Hey, at least she doesn't remember putting you in the chokey. Like, it's good that she doesn't remember you.
Yeah. I turn away from the room. I'm gonna wait until the paperwork comes.
Yeah, no, she'll hand that to you straight away, and you can fill that out like you're at a doctor's.
Do I know how? I assume I know how to read and write, but that's an assumption that I'm not. Okay, then I will do that. Filling out whatever information that I know, and is there an associated fee of any kind, or is this a public house?
Oh yeah, they don't charge you anything for this.
Okay.
Yeah. They like, there could be some charge for like the orphans coming in if like there are special arrangements, but really like anyone can stay there as long as they like do some kind of work in the place, like keep it tidy and clean, or make bread, or something basic. So once you filled out the paperwork, Matron Amada will take it. That all? I'm busy here.
You don't remember me, do you?
Don't jog her memory. What's wrong with you?
She looks between Tomb and Nick. A lot of people in the city mostly deal with the children. Not many parents around these days, so don't speak with many adults.
Good. And then I'll turn and leave.
All right. Where do you guys go after that? Do you want to reconvene with the party at the tavern?
Yeah, I guess we'll go back and
up?
reconvene at the tavern.
Sure. It seems like a natural point where everyone wants to go to the docks or investigate what's going on down that river there, so it makes sense for us to do it all together. The group you meet back at Mash's Tavern, Horse and Mare, Charlie and Polaris and Persephone are sharing an awkward silence, while the three of you bowl up, also probably in a bit of an awkward silence, after your scene with Katrine.
And I will approach Mash and let him know that if Katrine ever stops by, to put it on my tab, essentially, or if he is willing to just spare an extra bowl of mash to do that.
He'll nod, and he's Mash is a kind soul. He's like, well, I knew Olaf, so see what I can do whenever she comes by.
Good. I assume there's a table where everyone is sitting?
Mm-hmm.
I will not sit at it.
Oof.
This pleases Persephone if she notices you coming in.
So does Nick pointedly walk past the table, or does he just go off?
No, I would probably go similar to where I sat in the Widow Willowsby's bar. I would sit in the front left corner looking at the door and the bar and that kind of area. But back in the corner.
Okay.
Persephone would actually grab Polaris's hand and be like, "It's working," and point to him. She's very excited.
I'll go ahead and sit down with the others. That was rough, guys. I don't know how your morning went, but Nick told Katrine that her father died. John hadn't. No, they hadn't been by, and we didn't know, and we just approached her thinking she knew, and it was Nick speaking to her, and it was terrible.
God, Nick.
He did really well. He's not taking it the best, I don't think, but
we were both surprised that he was able to do it.
Yeah, there's maybe a little more to him than any of us were thinking, but I think she'll be okay.
Good.
Well, that's good. At least hope she's got enough to get by.
How was your guys' morning? How was the doctor?
I suppose you might say good. We got some information out of it, I guess. Body washed up from the river. Some sort of strange fungus on it.
Like mushrooms?
More like mold, I imagine. But can't quite say why, but the doctor, Finnias, seemed to think that it had something to do with what we had seen in the forest. Plague the beasts. The man's expression, too, is frozen like stone. All strange.
The
But,
doctor's
go ahead.
The doctor said he washed up 2 days ago, and that's the day that the sky was reading treachery, so there's something wrong. Treachery and betrayal, so...
Are you sure it wasn't the good kind of treachery and betrayal?
I
Sorry.
she would think about that.
I didn't really mean it. We still need to go to the docks. We didn't have a chance to do that. Should we do that and then follow up on this?
Probably not the sort of place we want to be at night.
Remind me
Well,
what we're
and I
going to dock for.
It's where Marion turned up dead, and he went down the river a couple of days ago. There are people who saw him beforehand. I think you wanted to talk to them and maybe ask about where he went and what he was doing there and why. He's also linked back to Marcus Viridian, so it seems like all points seem to lead to this man somewhere being on the docks and having gone somewhere, and then something happened to him. Yeah.
So maybe we do want to go down there at night, get real information out of people.
Well, I have some obligations tonight. I mean, well, I can get out of them if it's that important, but I was going to meet Marina and see about employment, but I
You're
don't know.
welcome
What do
to
you want?
find work if you want. I don't know. Nick talked to that man, the mercenary leader, the other day. I don't know if he might have learned anything in that conversation, or if we might need to talk to him again.
Yeah, he was hiring sellswords for an easy job. I can't remember all the details. I know Nick talked to us about it, but I was writing limericks at the time. And
Yeah, I wasn't particularly interested in mercenary work, so I didn't quite listen to the details. But if it has to do with this, then we don't have much of a choice. Contract with a crow.
I wrote a limerick about that too. It's the first one
yeah?
I wrote. We all, and I used her full name, which I realized I probably shouldn't have, but I'll go through my journal back several pages. The princes of Red Carnage entreated, their conscription into service completed. The forest ghouls kept at bay, a debt the widows must pay. Death and blood temporarily defeated.
That's very good. Tale to tell.
Polaris would be like pretty into that, like pretty impressed.
Mash shows up. Wow, that's really good. I just heard that. You should, we got a local acts board where it's sort of like an acoustic indie night, sort of
Mash.
open mic night sort of thing.
Mash,
And,
I wrote one for you.
oh my. Body Emperor.
I had planned on, I don't know, proclaiming it when I was at other places. It's sort of an advertisement for your establishment, I guess, but there once was a man named Mash. He offered his services without flash, a drink in a room, happily offered without gloom, to the horse and mare all should dash.
That's my pub. It's my place. Oh, that's great. Can I put it up somewhere, like
Yes.
as a slogan or something? Great. And he goes to frame it.
Well, that does it. We have to protect this man with all costs.
I know. I love him.
I love him, yeah.
The second, we knew his name and stuff, I was like, Limerick for Mash.
I swear to God, if anything happens to Mash, I swear to God.
I will murder everyone.
That fire alarm will be going off for real.
Yeah.
I love that we have this enduring adoration for the potato man, but the orphan we just left. Whatever.
She's not providing us room and board.
Yeah.
It's true. What has she ever done for us?
Mash is somehow more adorable than the little child.
There's an orphan 8-year-old.
She can take care of herself. Mash seems kind of helpless, aside from Mash.
True.
Mash is the best.
And even then, sometimes they have lumps in the mash. So it's like,
Yeah.
He tries real hard.
he tries hard. Yeah, he frames it first of all, and he puts it in pride of place on the wall, and he sort of points towards it's like a bounty wall, I guess, but it's it's like where local acts can put up their their flyers, or like bards and the like, and fops can put their services up there on the board, and if you want to come and perform for us, come by the Friday night. It's a good time. I guess you will because you live here.
I'll keep in mind that this is the place to be Friday nights.
How many days do we have left on our room and board here, by the way?
So you've been here 2 nights.
So we have 5 more?
5 days. Yeah, 5 days left.
What time is it right now?
You guys got in the morning and you spent a couple of hours going around. So right now, it's probably just become the afternoon, 1 to 2 p.m. So you've got plenty of the day ahead of you to investigate.
So we could do this. I'm not even with the group. I'm just saying out of character. We could go do the docks and then come back, and Kimmy can have Danny actually gather useful intel, unlike me. And then we can do our night activities, if that's the plan.
I'm gonna turn to Danny and Tomb and just be like, do you think Nick is can we talk to him? I've never seen this quiet before.
I think we all need to tread lightly right now. I've never seen him. I didn't know this was a side of him, but
There's no conversation we can have with him right now that'll be better than the beer I'm about to send him.
that's a
Fair
good
enough.
point.
So I
Get a few
I'll
drinks.
mash over and say, get him a bottle of whatever.
Okay. So
I'm just
Tim wants to
munching
go
on
over
left-
to...
I'm munching on leftover pie in the corner.
Nice.
And Toon comes over with a bottle of something.
No. I
Sorry.
asked Mash to give a bottle of
Oh,
something.
okay, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. And Mash will do that thing where he's like, compliments of, and he points down the bar and it's Toon.
Thank you, Mash. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Artless potato man.
And I will take my tankard and I will raise it and I will I'll stay in the corner, I guess, but I have a beer now, so I'm in a little bit better spirits.
I think when he's done his beer, we should approach him about going to the docks with us. What do you guys think?
Oh, well,
I think that makes sense.
Ch-
Give him some time.
yeah, I think he's going to need more than a beer, but
We'll get him more for the road.
Yeah.
Can
So
you-
I
can
will
you drink-
to fast forward here. Yeah. Oh, can I? I'll. Yeah. I might have my own tankard actually. Let me look.
Cool.
I have military gear. Would that include a receptacle?
That may involve a receptacle of some kind. A military receptacle.
it's a drinking
Yeah.
horn.
Yeah.
Or like a
Full of
pot.
oil.
He's just drinking beer out of a pot.
Yeah, you got a mess
So
kit.
I will get my beer to go, and
Yeah.
I'll come back over to the table and stand next to it. So what's the plan?
Said, oh, you're feeling better now that you filled your Katrine canteen?
Shut up! You know what? You guys go to the docks.
Come with us.
No,
you have-
Nick.
You
I
have fun.
Something to
No,
ask
you have fun. No, you kids
Come
have
with us.
fun.
Come with us, or we're gonna just talk shit on you the whole time we're gone.
No.
I would do it anyway.
True.
Nick, come with us. I'll write you a
Nick.
limerick eventually.
How dare you make me do that?
Do what?
Come with us to the docks.
How fucking dare you people? I had to do
None
that.
None of us knew that was what was going to have to be done. We thought that Jean and Marie would have broke the news. I'm sorry
Yeah.
that you're the one that cared the most about the child at the time.
Yeah, well,
For what it's worth, man, you did it really well.
You did. I like her. I was not enthusiastic about the mission, but she was a delightful little girl, and I am sorry, Nick, that you did have to be the one to break the news to her.
Me too. That's why I bought you beer.
I understand what you all think about me. All right, I get it. It's fine. But that's deception and misdirection are my tools, because if you go out there as yourself, you get hurt. Why do hard work when a false face and a good line of bullshit does so much more in this world where nothing is enjoyable and everything is pain and death, all right? But that is something I shouldn't have to do alone.
We were with you.
We were
I'm
there
sorry, Nick. I
talking-
didn't realize you would have to do that.
And I apologize if we weren't as there for you as you thought we should have been.
I'm sorry, it's fine. I'm
No, I'm
sorry for raising my voice. All right, let's go.
Showtime?
Showtime.
All right.
Okay. So you guys head over to the docks. Takes you about an hour, and then your smell of salt and fish being sold on the marketplace quickly draws your attention. Sound of workers, it's like a fisherman's trade is really the deal around here on the riverside docks. And what are you guys looking for in particular? I mean, there are a lot of people going around. It's a very busy space. What are you looking for, or who are you looking for?
So maybe I wrote this down wrong, but I need to look through my notes. But I thought I got some amount of information from Mark about who to talk to. Maybe I'm mistaken. Let me look through my notes. Hold on. About people at the docks. Otherwise, I will just start approaching random shopkeepers.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have a name as of yet of anyone, but you know Marion as the name, really, as the guy who died.
Right.
So you can ask around for a while, a group of you, setting your feelers out to see if anyone knows Marion. It doesn't take too long before they direct you to a warehouse. People like you ask, the shopkeepers and the like. And it's a small little wooden warehouse where they're bringing in bucket loads of fish, basically, from the morning trip. And a couple of the sailors, 4 or 5 of them in the area, look up at the group of you. You've been directed to speak with them as people who knew Marion. And they're all sort of, middle-aging and slightly older, which is to say they're like super old for medieval times. And they sort of reek of fish, basically. And they've just had their morning fishing outing.
How would
I help you? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted a clarification on what this place looks like. So this is on a river, right? How big is this river?
The river's pretty big. At this point coming in, it's not at its largest point, and it's certainly not at its fiercest either. So it runs eastward. It actually runs towards Ostwald.
Okay.
Is the direction in which that runs. So it's a big river, but it gets narrow and also a lot fiercer further down the river, as far as you know.
Got it. And is this a wharf? Is this a pier? Like, what are we working with?
Yeah, I'd say it's a wharf.
It's a wharf? Okay.
Yeah, the rivermen will come in and unload the fish and sell it on the markets around noon this time.
Okay, and then we have a salty fishmonger?
Absolutely. Several of them.
Would anyone else like to take lead, or?
I can talk to the fisherman.
Sure.
Be nice to.
How can I help you, sir? What seems to be the problem here? You want to buy some fish? We got some good fish here. Got some nice fish.
Gotta die.
Fresh fish they are.
Tell me about your fish you got today. What'd you catch this morning?
Oh, we got some trout, some river bream. Will's just thinking of fish that he's heard of.
Fish names? Yeah.
There's some rainbow fish in here as well, and a jellyfish as well. And there's a little Nemo fish, the clownfish. That's the one. Yep. We sell them. Russ's dad.
I really do my best to not put the game master on the spot, and I just sent him down to
Tell me.
World. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Will. I apologize.
Yeah, based on the temperature of this kind of area, bream is pretty good. So,
I talked to him so how's the fishing been this season? Better than last year?
Well, it's not been quite so good, I suppose, but we don't venture too far down the river. Just keep it simple, keep it safe. Can I help you, ladies and gentlemen? You hungry?
Oh, yeah. We just, you're not going to believe it. There's this guy in town makes out of this world potatoes. You should talk to the guy about buying some of your fish and frying it up at his place. The guy's name is Mash. He's fantastic.
Okay. Thank you for the idea.
I mean, he's got to widen his menu sooner or later, and I think fish is going to be next. So,
right.
What is this guy's name again that we're?
He hasn't given you a name yet. If you they call him Pat. He tells you, Pat. What's the name?
Right, but the guy we were inquiring about.
Oh,
Marion.
that was
Marion.
Yeah.
You see Marion around?
Marion. No, we met a grisly end a few days past, I'm afraid. So, if he owes you any money, don't come looking here. We're not liable for any of his gambling debts and like, or any money that he may have owed to you. You're not from that Marcus Viridian fella, are you? Because you're not getting any money out of us.
I don't want a single thing from you, sir. I think you do an incredible business here, and I'd be happy to buy some fish from you. I don't want any money from you at all.
Good. Because
I was telling my friend Danny
up to his neck in debts of the man. So
I turned to Danny and I said, "My friend Danny here. She understands that I like talking to people that work for a living, not people that put on airs and pretend they're better than everybody else, like what's his name you just mentioned."
Right. Yeah. Viridian. Money-lending bastard.
Screw that guy.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you ask me, he's the one that sent Marion to his death.
Why do you think that?
He went back further down the river than we ever go. There's a fork in that river. It goes northwards towards Ostwald, but none of us ever take it. It's too dangerous. No good fish there, neither. Bad hunting grounds, if you will. No one goes
Sure,
down
you guys
there
gotta
anymore.
get paid.
Right. Well, Marcus.
Nobody's free to go where there's no fish.
All right. He was saying that he was going to go down there, and then a couple of days ago, he turns up dead. And he said he had to go there and see what was going on. That's all he told me. He said that Viridian fellow was the one who was holding the money over his head. He owed him a lot. And he said if he didn't go and see what was going on there, things are going to get nasty. So off runs Marion up the river and comes back dead.
Well, Pat, you know what? That sounds pretty likely. I've got no reason not to trust you, man. You're a good man of the people. You're salt of the earth guy. I appreciate it. Hey, would you do me a favor?
Right? What can I do?
You seen a little girl around here, blonde hair, named Katrine?
I've seen a little blonde kid running around every now and again, sells bread in exchange for fish sometimes.
Yeah, she just lost her father, and the group of us here, we would really appreciate it if nothing were to happen to her.
I'll keep an eye out for the wee kid. Best I can.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And I give him a couple of brass to kind of, I'm kind of implying that I'm opening an account for her.
Right.
Does he get that?
Yeah, you get a read from him. He sort of nods now.
Okay.
I understand.
Cool.
Well, if you're looking to follow Marion up the river and see where he went, we can lend you a boat, but I don't recommend it.
We might get back to you with that. How's
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Sounds good by me.
Same time?
Appreciate it, my friend. Aye.
Thank you, Pat. Have a good day.
He nods his head and goes back to unhauling the buckets of fish from the boat.
Oh, God, it stinks so bad.
Sure do. So, what do you guys want to do now?
I don't know, but that was really nice. Like I flashback when I was a kid. I grew up on boats, so that felt nice. Thank you.
Awesome.
If we're headed back, I will just pat Toom on the shoulder and acknowledge the gesture.
Yeah, we've gotten the intel we need from him, and we can come back here tomorrow to get that boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's
Let's do that.
time to check in with Mr. Viridian as well. Maybe
I agree.
maybe we should accept his job offer? What do you think, Toom?
Whose job offer?
Marcus Viridian's. Be an inside man and get more intel in there, or at least go talk to him again. I mean,
I turn to Nick and I say, I intend to use that fucker for every brass he has.
I agree with that.
Let's do it.
Does everyone want to go with Nick and Toom, or do the rest of you want to go somewhere else?
About what time is it now again?
3 p.m. Let's call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
So
want to be
go
late. We
plenty-
don't want to be late for work.
Well, I mean, I have a very loose commitment,
Sure.
Schedule, yeah.
and it's late. Anyway.
Do we want to talk to Marcus today, or do we want to do that tomorrow after we get more intel? I
What more
can
intel are you expecting to get?
from Danny, and I can go
Oh, right.
do my thing at the tables. You know.
At some
Well,
point,
we-
I'd want to touch base
ahead.
with Polaris privately.
Okay.
I don't have a strong desire to go visit Marcus.
Also, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious about him, if nothing else.
Okay.
So, all right. So, you and I, Nick, are going to go see Marcus, see what's up.
Well, maybe
see-
I think all three of us, Charlie, maybe the guys are gonna go visit Marcus.
Mm-hmm. And Danny, do you want to go to and do your scene with your friend Morena, and start asking questions there, or do you want to do that later in the evening?
I thought I would do it a little later. That makes
Mhm.
sense timeline-wise, but maybe I'll just
Sure.
go back to the Horse and Mare and take a nap. Since I
Right.
thought I
Okay,
was
yeah.
gonna go-
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just we'll plan to meet back at the Horse and Mare later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if
I don't
Danny-
think that we-
Kimmy needs a nap.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Meta wise, from a meta perspective, I just don't think we can move on until we learn what Danny can get intel. I don't think that there's.
Agreed. Also,
I feel like
kinda
we're
wanna-
laying a lot on Danny coming up with stuff that maybe not going to happen. We'll see.
Hey, we've tried all these other angles, and we might, I mean, the boat upriver and Marcus's place are both potential fight locations, whereas yours is less likely to be a fight location. So
True.
that's why I was hedging in that direction.
I also want to see. I would prefer to check out Viridian's place first thing in the morning, if I can at all. I want to kind of track him to see what his morning looks like. I want to see who he talks to on the
Sure.
way to work.
Okay, so
like
then let's
that.
say this. Let's go with Persephone and Polaris' scene together privately. Then we'll do Danny's scene, and that will probably take us to where we want to be. So, everyone breaks, team breaks, and then Persephone and Polaris, you guys can get a private booth in the Horse and Mare together, or your room, wherever it is.
Or like
you
we're
want to speak
walking
from.
back or something. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you're walking back, and you can chat to one another, and I will be right back too. But feel free to run ahead.
Okay. So, I'm experiencing something.
What is it?
It's new. It's a new feeling. It isn't good. It's like Charlie trusted me with this secret or whatever, and he's still calling me Hilda, and we're keeping secrets from the others, and I like that because me, you, and Charlie were the important ones, right?
Uh-huh.
But what is this thing that I'm feeling? You know these things.
Where do you feel it on your body?
What are you talking about?
Like
No,
in your
it's a
stomach, in your
bad
throat?
feeling. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
like a
okay.
bad feeling.
In my head and throat and chest and stomach, it kind of makes me feel a little sick. It's a bad feeling.
What do you think it is making you feel bad about them? Is it one specific? Is it what we're going to do? Is it the way that they're talking to you?
No, it's that he trusts me and I'm not trusting him with my own identity. Should I tell him?
Sometimes I forget your name's not actually Hilda.
Yeah. I think I should tell him.
Charlie, at least, I think you should. He shared his secret with you.
Right. I'll tell him.
But you can ask him not to tell anyone. You can trust Charlie, and he trusts us.
I'll tell him that too. Thanks, Polaris.
Of course. You're one of my oldest friends.
Let's maybe stay away from the river.
That's
From
what
here
I
on
think
out.
too. We did the thing.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, sorry. I still want to jump in if you
Perfect
could.
timing.
Still having this. I was like, what's going on? All right, perfect. So, perfect. So let's cut to this evening then, because we've wanted to get the scene of Danny for like 3 weeks now because the break.
Yeah.
So Danny, you have a friend Morena, and we'll say that she comes and picks you up this evening. You've taken your nap, and she's a sweet young girl with long locks of red hair, and she sort of promised to take you around a couple of the houses tonight and sort of connects you with the people that you need to meet and some of the clientele that you might want to be involved in, the movers and shakers of Einem. So she'll sort of knock on your door and come in, be like, hey, still good for tonight? Everything ready?
Yes. How do I look?
Great. Yeah, I think everyone's going to love you.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Great. So she sort of takes you by the arm and starts walking with you through the streets. And so she likes to gossip. So she'll say, "So have you heard all of the stuff about the ghosts on the docks and everything?"
And ghosts. I heard about a man that died in the docks.
Yeah, he was. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds like the same guy. And he turned up dead in a boat that must have floated itself all the way down the river back here. And then someone said that they sent a ghost, someone, a white mask, and everyone's really scared about it.
I actually hadn't heard that. A white mask? Not like a flesh mask, but like a performance mask?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's just what I heard. And I mean, I can't exactly say who told me. And she's obviously sort of waiting for you to ask her who told her.
You can tell me. I won't say anything to anyone.
Well, if you promise, it
Cross my heart.
was Sir Patrick Chapman. I was speaking with him the other evening, and well, he's got knights and guards and chivalry and beautiful eyes and strong jaw and anyway.
Someone for the edge.
Yeah. Well, he was saying to me that he's got all these friends in the guards, and one of these captains was telling me that they had also seen this figure in the mask, and that they had slipped away into the night, and that's where all of the rumors had started from, apparently. So there's a ghost in Einem now. Apparently, people are seeing it all over. Every night someone's seen a ghost, but I mean, no one's proven it yet.
Well, that's kind of exciting.
scary, more like, but yeah, kind of exciting too. I mean, maybe it's true. You should talk to Patrick. I should introduce you.
Aren't you afraid I'll steal him away?
I know you wouldn't do that. Anyway, he's so into me.
I believe you.
She's smart.
Yeah, no, I'd love to write about this ghost, if nothing else. Not just one of my limericks, but I like to write and retell stories, especially legends and things like that.
Really? So you're like an author?
Yes, nothing really published. It's all passed orally. I know. No, that's what I was.
A lot of things are in this city.
Well, that's more frequently than not. That's what I was paid for. To tell stories.
Oh, not the oral.
Right.
Well, that.
All are monsters.
In various degrees, but mostly I'm a storyteller.
Huh. Well, maybe you should tell a story to Sir Patrick. I mean, he loves stories. The tales of knights and chivalry and everything before the emperor, and well, you would get along. Maybe you could find some work, And then, obviously, he'd spend most of his time with me, but
No, of course, and I would never. He would only get the oral storytelling, not the other.
Right.
And he would never ask for the other, not with you around.
No, that would be wrong. But by this time, we've arrived at the house, and he's like. Yeah, he's still like walking in, and the lower half is like a lot more like highbrow. You suspect that there's less more obvious things happening upstairs in other rooms at this point. But the clientele is like nobility, so you like step in, and there are it's sort of a room full of people who look like they're probably quite rich, and not all of them are looking for such things that you might find on a dock. There is plenty of people who are looking for like purely companionship, and there are performers like yourself who are in the vicinity as well. And Miranda sort of introduces you to a lot of people. It's like immediately once you're in the room, she whips you around and starts doing the introductions of all of the nobles who might find themselves in a place like this evening, until finally she introduces you to Sir Patrick. And he is an incredibly handsome man. He's sort of tall but not too tall. He's got one of those sort of like rugged dark looks, bit of an Aragorn thing going on there, but clearly way more in love with himself than Viggo Mortensen, if that's possible. And he looks quite well preened and put together, and a lot of heraldry. He's a strutting young knight, really. You've seen these types before in Ostwald, but you can't deny that he's not arrogant without some cause, at least. And Morena just like melts immediately in his presence. She just sort of, she's just like all over him for a moment, and then she remembers that you're there, and she's like, "Oh, this is my friend Danny. She's a oral storyteller."
Or
Right?
writer. Yes.
Right. Yes. And Sir Patrick says, "Hi. Pleased to meet you."
So pleased to meet you. Marina has told me all about you.
All bad, I hope.
Of course. Why else would I be interested in meeting you?
Well, they do call me the bad boy of Item, I suppose, but I'm not one to give myself such titles. I just hear that they call me that. So.
So.
Bless you.
Oh, it's so dusty in here. So, What is this I hear about ghosts? I love lore. And this is just so intriguing.
I bet you do, yes. The ghosts, of course, the ghosts of Ireland. These stories have been going around for quite some time, but they have a cause and roots. Particularly this one interested me because this Marion fellow, peasant idiot who sailed down the river on his own, he took the bend northwards, which is haunted, so they say. Yes, haunted by spirits of the night, yes. So the story goes, at least, that there were a crew of fishermen once who were in Einam, and they would come in and come out and fish every single day, until one day their leader, a man named Victor, he became so wretched and jealous of his wife, who he believed was sleeping with another woman, that he killed her and became cursed with the rest of his crew to never return to Einam. Instead, they would don masks and sail out northwards where no one could ever find them again. Well, as you can see, the mask showing up was an interesting bit of detail that I didn't suspect from those who are prone to seeing ghosts, you see.
That is one of the more fascinating tales I've heard in a while.
Oh, yes, well, yeah. It's all true, I believe. You can tell, you get the sense he's just making the shit up for a lot of it.
How long has this tale been around?
Oh, for as long as I can remember, at the very least. Yes. I'm not sure exactly. Memory goes vague in my mind, but if you were to visit a library, I'm sure you could find the book from which it came from. I'm a very learned man myself. I read all the books, front to cover. I don't just skim them. I don't do that. I read them all. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this.
You know, this sounds familiar. I have a skill rank in folklore, and I want to see if any of this actually rings true.
Yeah, give me a check here.
All right, so I'll just roll the D100.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember how any of this works, but I've got a little bubble in folklore.
Yeah, so that gives you a plus 10. So plus 10
Okay.
to the appropriate skill that you're checking.
So that might be 100. First roll of the night.
That's pretty good.
Hey, it checks out, like, you know, this like jogs a bit of your memory, like, oh yeah, the Ghost of Einam, okay, like this long lost crew. It has you don't remember the exact details, but you can tell that this man is wrong. It in fact has to do with they were
You had to find
from...
Gaston, didn't you? You had to just find...
Uh-huh. There are
remember
no
that
pictures in this book.
Right. It's not about a spurned wife or, you know, a murdered wife or anything like that. That was the fact that it was actually a historical tale that they were not worshipping the church, and the church had cast them out as heretics. And that was the reason that this Victor had done it. And it's not that old. You know, this story is maybe like 30 years old at most. So it's within living memory. This person, Victor, could still be alive. Yeah, so he's got some dodgy deals here, but...
Okay.
So, can I interest you in some more conversation?
I'm new to the city.
Oh, lovely.
I need to have a little bit of a meet and greet this eve.
It's my favorite
But-
kind of greet.
This conversation has been so enlightening, and I am so pleased to have met you.
Illuminating
It's been a
is
delight.
precisely the word I would have used to.
Sir Patrick, offering my hand.
Yeah, he kisses it deeply. Enchanted.
Until we meet again.
I think as Sir Patrick kisses Danny's hand, and like it's way too wet, it's uncomfortably wet, and he sort of swaggers back with a little
saturated.
Yeah. Silverfang grin, and Morena's like staring jealous, daggers over towards you. That's where we're going to end tonight's session of the Blackhearts, as we're gonna next week get into some more action. I think now that we've got a lot of leads confirmed and time to follow some up, perhaps downriver. We'll
I think we finally have a heading.
Yeah,
I think you do.
They say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We get to be a pirate adventure, sort of.
I just got a job. Are we leaving? Oh, poor Mash.
We have a backup. The good news is that we have a really talented 8-year-old who can take over for you.
You guys are going.
So, bye guys. This is my life now. Have fun solving the plague.
I choose MASH. Well, yeah.
I stand with Mesh.
Honestly, that is the adult decision. Is I have a job now and like a good boss. Why would I go gallivanting off searching out pirate ghosts? Right. That would be stupid.
Yeah. First man in years I've met that I don't hate. I'm saying.
I'm staying right here. Well, my friends, that's what we got time for tonight on the Zweihander Blackhearts. If you haven't checked out Zweihander yet, go and check it out on Target.com, where you can buy it. It's freaking awesome, so go get it. I think there's a sale on now for $40, so get it while it's hot, get it while it's cheap, my friends. So
I'm really excited to die. To fill out. I'm really excited to.
I love the death certificate on the back. It's so funny.
Right?
It's my favorite.
I know.
Yeah. On that note, I guess, let's go around to Cast and the Crew. Did we enjoy ourselves tonight? Where can we find you guys? Goodness, can't believe it's been almost 3 hours. Kimmy, how was that tonight for you?
That was fabulous, and I'm so excited that I finally got to recite these stupid limericks.
That's so
writing.
good as well.
And now I
the
have
Katrina one.
I have so many more to write. That Katrina one, I was like,
that Katrina one was
seriously writing.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the fastest I've ever written one of these. So, okay, that was just fabulous. I enjoyed the hell out of all of that. I'm Miss Kennedy85 on Twitter, and that's where I'm most active, so you can find me there. And this is amazing. I love this show, and you guys are awesome. And I'm so excited for next week.
It's awesome to be back after a couple of weeks away with you guys. So amazing. Doxy, how was that tonight for you?
It was really good. It was a quiet night for Persephone, but there weren't really very many opportunities to be mean without being like really fucking mean. So I didn't do it. I'm Zero Doxy. I like butts and farting, and you can find me on my channel at ZER0DOXY. Do it or I'll shoot.
And Ruben. So good.
Hi. That was delightful. Don't sell yourself short. You're not just a D&D sex icon. You're a Zweihander sex icon now. I was taken aback by that particular heartfelt moment, but it felt like a moment for Nick to sort of show a different side of himself. And as we've learned in this show, between Charlie and the Red Crow, we all wear masks of various kinds, so it's good to show a different side of myself. You can follow me on social media at MOXREUBY. You can catch me on Magic Mics, which is a live podcast Wednesday nights, twitch.tv/MAGICMICS, and Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, which is a Magic the Gathering news show. You can also catch me on Ravnica, The Broken Pact, which is my Dungeons & Dragons live play crossover show, which is a world of Magic the Gathering using the new Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. which is Mondays at 8 Pacific on twitch.tv/D&D. And I'll also be guesting on Inkwell Society, which is the Eberron D&D game from Dungeon Master Rudy Rutenberg on the 27th at 7 p.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m. So that's how you can check me out.
A Ruben and a Ruti in the same place. Can the world
That's right.
survive? My God, that's going to be amazing. Cannot wait for that. Great stuff. Lydia, same questions for you.
Hi. Thanks so much again for having me. I had so much fun tonight. I'm so happy to be back doing this grim and perilous world with my friends. I loved tonight. I loved Nick. Nick, you broke my heart. You were so good.
I know.
Yeah.
It was so surprising how sweet he was with her. I was really impressed.
I had my hand on my heart, like, clutching it, like, oh my God, the whole time.
Nick cares about tiny children and the young guy from the Blackhearts, and that is all he cares about.
That is right, and I love it. Nick, it was great. Anyways, I'm Lydia. You can find me playing on my channel with all of my friends on Sunday nights. We are at twitch.tv/CastleMac. We are playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and we're wrapping it up very soon. You can catch us there. You can find me on Twitter, CastleMacLydia. You can find all of my friends on Twitter at CastleMac and then their name. I think that's it. I think I said all the things.
Fantastic. Speedy, say some more things for us.
Hello, some more things.
Thank you.
This was awesome. I was very happy to be back. Yeah, this was a fantastic episode. Ruben, you absolutely blew me away with your Nick stuff. Honestly, it was awesome to see that other side of him. To show, like, even though, like, as much as you've said before now, like, yeah, we all wear masks, I wasn't expecting you to, like, ever actually take off the mask, and it was cool to actually see that today. So yeah, and also having a direction, I cannot wait to see what we find out next week as well. But yeah, this was awesome. You can find me everywhere as Not So Speedruns on Twitch and Twitter and everything. I'm currently doing a charity campaign called Valentine's Day Doesn't Have to Suck, supporting To Write Love on Our Arms. We've been raising money this week, and I will be doing another charity stream probably tomorrow and Sunday as well. And if you're interested, definitely go follow me, and I will probably be playing some dating sims and stuff. And also check out @CastTogether on Twitter for our community of streamers dedicated to mental health.
I'm so sorry, I have to interrupt for just a second. I got to see Speedy rap doing his charity stream. So if you want to see him
really
rap,
bad.
just go and contribute. And it's
Were you like
amazing.
were you like
will
really
not
drunk and
regret it.
rapping? Because that's. Just
I'm
something
going
I would...
right now.
I was stone cold sober.
Oh
That's
my God, that's
fantastic.
even better.
$20 donation. You can make me sing or rap anything you want.
He's got speed right in his name. Of course he can drop bombs. Come
That
on.
is a dangerous
It was also after like
precedent.
5-6 hours of streaming, my voice was gone.
Oh no.
No, you were lovely. It
Point.
really A+ stuff.
All right.
Speedy.
We just
Appreciate.
transfer my bank account savings. Let's see. Emmett, last but not least, Graves over 2 tonight. Nice little moment there with Katrina as well. How's that for you?
Yeah.
It was good. I think that I think Tomb cares for real people, and I think she's got no time at all for artifice. So I like that he talks to people that work for a living, and he just has little time for anything else. He's a really interesting character to play. I think because, I spent years in the entertainment industry surrounded by fake people, so I think Tomb is kind of like my suburban asshole coming out a little bit, being like, "Think your best face," like the Philly kid coming up. That's what Tomb is like.
Yeah. Your conversation with Pat the fisherman was a delight.
Yeah, Will, I'm sorry I put you on the fish spot.
I loved it.
Right.
And I nailed it.
You did.
You did.
Yep.
You absolutely.
No fault to be
I-
found there.
For a minute, I was
If you're-
confused as to why I was on a fish stream. You know,
Right.
We're like Nemo, jellyfish.
He's got some knowledge. Like
well, that's pretty
does he
much
keep
all the fish, right?
All streams are fish
Absolutely.
streams.
Is he a fisherman? Like,
Yeah, we didn't know that he's a marine biologist.
Right.
I didn't know that.
That Star Trek movie. Two things I wanted to mention. Number one, I'm going to echo Speedy. I've had a very enlightening and interesting time on the Cast Together Discord, and it is a great place for people to talk and just work through whatever they're going through. And honestly, Speedy, it has been an honor just to be in that Discord and see the people like reaching out and other people reaching their hands back. That's been fantastic. So thank you for pointing me in that direction. The other thing is I'm initiative on Twitter, but I'm also Kilo Bravo 3 Mike upon November. And you should know that people in the amateur radio hobby are getting older, so young folks like us need to come up. If you go to arrl.org, you can learn about getting your amateur radio license. I've got all of them, and it's been fantastic. And if you like Twitch streaming and you like getting online and talking to people, there's an entire layer of bandwidth that you don't know about yet. You can get into with amateur radio.
love it.
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, great stuff. My friends, it's been great to spend another Friday night with everyone here in the chat, and of course, with you guys here playing on the Zweihander Blackhearts. We're back next week, Fridays, 8 p.m. EST. Yes, that is the time of it. Oh my god. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Time zones are weird in my brain, my English brain.
It's filled
Also,
with
I've been
fish.
drinking. I was drinking some fucking weird shit. I don't know what that is about. But hey, thank you guys for joining us. We're back next week. And tomorrow is Saturday. We stream on Saturday. It starts at 5 p.m. with Shadow of the Demon Lord. So join us then tomorrow. But until next time, try not to roll too many net ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.